Justin Walker tonight. Thanks very much for coming. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Justin's from the X Show. I'm sure you all know him from that. Airs Monday through Friday. Is that right?
Airs Monday through Friday
FX.
on your FX cable network.
I get it. It must be 11 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Because I get it at 8 o'clock on my satellite. Yeah. So how do you can't even call out your sort of air times anymore because everybody's got a different kind of system.
Who knows, right?
That's right. So I watch it at 8 o'clock on FX.
So do I, and I can barely make it to that most of the time.
So that's insane. 5 nights a week. That's
I know.
Wild.
It's a wild ride.
Well, the idea, what we're doing here is trying to create an environment where people can interact and get some information through the web. And the idea is also that, although I know you come from a wild program, we want to allow people an opportunity to say or do whatever they want. This kind of
this is a very special thing for me because it's a chance for me to confront the audience.
You can confront them. You can use the F word. You can do anything you want. You can pull your pants down. Whatever you need to do, you can do here.
Right.
This is it. I know the X Show's wild, but this if you need to get wild, this is what it's all about. And if not, that's okay too.
Yeah, who's regulating this thing? I mean, there are no rules.
There are no rules. That's what's very cool about it.
Everyone in Congress is freaking out.
They are freaking out. I think we have some proponents out there to keep it kind of democratic, to keep it free and expressive. But now you originally started film Clueless. Is that you?
Yeah, Clueless was kind of my first movie, first thing. I was in New York doing plays and bartending. I had just opened a bar with a bunch of gangsters, actually, and
that was your best job ever.
Best thing ever. Yeah. Hugs and kisses every day,
yeah.
And free bread and all that kind of stuff. And then along came Clueless and brought me out here, and then I just kind of did little films and whatnot. And then the X Show came along and really made things interesting.
And you've got another feature you've done?
Yeah, I got a bunch of things I'm doing this year, some independent films. I'm doing like a kind of a cool partial animated, partial live action thing coming up in January, and another film called The Funeral Channel this spring.
The Funeral Channel?
The Funeral Channel, yes. It's kind of a black comedy mystery about like these kids that start this crazy cable network and this funeral channel, and then like all celebrities start dying, and they think we're killing them off and all that kind of stuff.
Upbeat, lighthearted, puckish satire.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And you're not from Los Angeles. You're from. Boston.
I was like kind of moved around a lot. I was a Navy rat. I was born in Navy brat. I was born in actually in Hawaii. Pretty much grew up in Boston, went to college in Virginia, and been out here for about 5 years.
And you went to Washington Lee?
Yes.
Near UVA?
Near UVA. Washington Lee is like out in southwestern Virginia.
Yeah. They
really
don't drink
pretty.
there, do they?
Never.
No
bourbon down there.
No.
No kegs down there either.
Yeah.
Doctor.
That's I understand. Listen, I'm just the messenger. I just know what they do down there.
Listen, man. The best thing was lining up those horse troughs and firing those kegs in there.
It's perfect training for the X Show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, and you came back out here for the X Show, and you're living out here now?
Yeah, I actually, after I did Clueless, I stayed out here and just, kind of like settled up in the Hollywood
You came out here for
Hills.
Clueless?
Yep.
Oh, no kidding.
That's what brought me out here from New York, and been out here ever since,
And are you in a relationship now, or?
It's funny because Karen and I were kind of talking about that on the way out here.
You're dating your publicist?
No, we're discussing it because we have that kind of special publicist-client relationships where we talk about each other's love lives.
Yeah.
But I moved out here with a girl, and we're still pretty close. But there's other stuff going on too. It's kind of.
You living with her?
I was.
Oof.
I was. Now
I
just live across the street from her.
Oh.
How's that for well-adjusted behavior?
No, it's not good.
I know.
Was it you were supposed to get married in the whole?
Yes, we were on that train, and
How old are you now?
I'm 31.
So you're kind of.
I'm in that. To be honest with you, I'm in that zone where I have no right answers. I simply have like my like neurotic behavior, and that's what it is.
You know what? I see the syndrome in this business. People go through, young guys right around your age, and some of them will go nameless, where they get some success under their belt and they start thinking of themselves differently. They sort of want to explore themselves at their sort of different stature.
I mean, let's call it what it is. It's like Hollywood is a seductive place. We're all a bunch of gypsies floating around out here, and like, you get a little something going on. You want to push the sexual envelope. I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah, and Adam and I actually came up with something that's a little, I think it's sort of crass, but it's kind of accurate, which is that we each have a sort of personal rating scale. And that men, particularly, their sort of value in the marketplace goes up depending on their career status, dramatically as compared to women.
Out here, well, it's true everywhere.
And
but
so
here
you now have access to things that you might not have access to in terms of kinds of people you want to date, interesting people.
That's why I became an actor actor to begin with, was
Really?
to get higher quality
Honestly?
females. Pretty much.
That's an honest statement.
I'm pretty much laying it out
Yeah,
there. I mean, I was at WNL. I was like this Yankee from Boston, and I was dating girls, but I wanted quality Southern girls. So I felt like I needed like a voice or what have you. So I was like, well, I got to be an actor because I'm not from Atlanta.
Right.
So I better like step up. And I mean, luckily now I learned like about the craft of acting and like I take it seriously. But I guarantee you, 95% of the guys who are in this business is because they want higher quality trim.
Tune into the X show for more detail. But you know, it's interesting. I went to college with Gregory Peck's son.
Oh yeah.
And
he must have gotten tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I'm just asking.
And he, there are people on the chat room saying they're having trouble linking to the show. I don't know if there's a technical problem. We got to check that out. But he said, Gregory Peck said, he originally started going to acting. You know, he was at Berkeley, I think it was, and he started getting involved in acting to meet girls. That was it. And I think people say it a little more explicitly now, as you would, to how did you put it? Higher quality trim.
Higher quality trim. I mean, I'm just putting it down on the table. I mean, call it what it is. Like, yes, I have an artistic side. Yes, it was great that I learned how to cry in acting class and like bring out all these other sides of me. But fact is, you know, it's like you want the spotlight. You want to bring it on.
So thereby that relationship was doomed not to work.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I don't have a clear-cut answer. I mean, this girl is in my life. We're like totally attached. We have.
Does she know what you just told me?
Yes, she knows it. Like whether she, yeah, she does. And I mean, I just got back from Maui with her. I mean, 5:30 a.m. I got off the jet on Monday. With her, you know, we're still.
She thinks you got married.
Yeah, we have like.
No, she thinks you get married.
The way I like to put it, it's like our relationship like transcends like titles at this point. Does that sound like bullshit?
Yeah, that sounds like total bullshit.
All right, well.
So, but she.
I gotta like hook it up somehow, you know.
But in her head, seriously, she's getting married. Otherwise, she would hang out.
It may happen down the road. I'm just not quite ready.
No, don't tell her that if it's not true.
No. It may. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, all right. It's good you're honest, though. I mean, at least are you honest with her about it?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So people, they want to call in, it's 1-888-4-Dr. If you'd like to bust Justin's chops a little bit. He's honest. You got to hand it to him. This is great. It is great. I mean, people...
Whether I'm on my show, your show, everyone's busting my balls about my love life.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I've not seen them do that. We have a famous story with Mark DiCarlo. Adam, when Adam first got sort of asked to do a screen test for the Love Line, the TV show, I was broadcasting with someone else at the time on the radio. And he was in New York sort of doing another radio thing, and they call him and said, you got to come out here right away for this screen test. And he goes, oh, I'll never get it. Forget it. Why am I rushing out here? I'm having such a good time in New York. What's Mark DiCarlo doing? You know, can't you get DiCarlo to do it? So fast forward 2 days, we're screen tested. It goes pretty well. And they go, hey, you know, Drew, great job. Come on over. And Adam, great job. See you tomorrow. You know, we're going to call you back if there's going to be a pilot. It'll be on Saturday. Adam, good job. Drew, would you come over here for a second? We got something to talk to you about. Adam, good job. See you later. Adam, in the meantime, walks out. He doesn't know there's more people going to be screen tested with me, so he's walking out of the sound stage. Who's walking in?
Right.
DiCarlo.
Right. It's unbelievable. All those guys like Weber, John Weber, Mark DiCarlo, Corolla, Kimmel. It's like they all know each other.
Yeah.
They've all like intertwined. I mean,
for years.
It's weird because they're always talking about it. And I mean, I kind of came into it from a different, you know, I was doing films and stuff like that. And it's a very small, weird, like, host community.
Is that?
Yeah.
We'll have to have a host party.
We really should. We really should.
Is acting and film though really what you want to do? That's your passion.
You know what? I tell you, I needed something like the X Show in my life. Like I dig the. I was ready for some. I needed rhythm. I needed like, you know, something I could.
Structure.
Yeah, and I feel, I'll be totally honest with you, I mean, I feel very responsible. I take a lot of the responsibility of the success of that program onto my shoulders. I really do. So, you know, I like being, I'm sort of like have that like sergeant mentality. Good. So I needed that, I like that, and you know, I want to do that and then continue to do my film stuff on top of it.
That's awesome. Yeah. If you can do it, that would be great. I mean, think about how it doesn't get better than that, does it? You have a regular
I mean,
deal
I may
you know,
die from exhaustion.
No. You're a young guy.
You know.
Hey, a couple of emails I got here. One was a married 17-year-old, divorced at 20, now feel as though she's having a nervous breakdown. My antidepressant medications help a little, but I still cry all the time. What else can I do? This is somebody that obviously is depressed, profoundly depressed, and needs to, she's already on antidepressants, they're not working. Those medications really are the cornerstone of something like this that can be potentially life-threatening. She needs to keep going back and talking with and connecting with the doctor that's prescribing this. And if he or she can't get a therapeutic response, you've got to get in the consult, you've got to see a psychiatrist. If this person is a psychiatrist, you've got to see another one, because these medications will work if they're properly adjusted. Got a phone call. It's Lori, who's 23. Lori?
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi. My question is, I'm a competitive cyclist, and a pretty serious one. And I have a new coach this year who wants all of us to lose weight. And
Oh, you were on the chat a few minutes ago, right?
yeah, what?
I'm sorry I didn't get to answer your question. I was just through that flurry of activity we had a few minutes ago. I couldn't quite, I actually couldn't even follow your question.
That's
but
okay.
How much do you weigh?
Well, right now I'm down to 106 pounds, but he wants me down to 95.
How tall are you?
5'8.5".
It's pretty thin.
That is thin. I have real concerns for athletic trainers and coaches that don't have your health and safety as their #1 priority. If your performance is their #1 priority, it's very easy for them to get into all kinds of weird crap. Give you supplements, have you take steroids. I've heard of these things. I hear about them more than I ever imagined was actually going on.
Well, the really dumb thing is I am an athletic trainer.
You know this isn't healthy, right?
Yeah, well, you know, the athletic trainer part of me knows it isn't healthy, but...
Lori, there's 2 things I want you to do. One is myself and Dr. Tim and our dietitian Elizabeth are going to begin having office hours in the chat rooms. I want you to get in with Elizabeth. Hopefully next week she'll have that up, I think, and chat with her about how you can assess what your calorie needs are and your protein needs, and what a more appropriate body weight might be for you. And then secondly, you should be followed by a doctor if you're doing this, your family doctor. Okay, somebody's got to advocate on your behalf and your safety.
The only problem is the people who haven't lost weight have been demoted. I'm on the top of the team, and I don't really want to let people down.
Look, your health and safety is #1. You're not going to be around to let them down if you're not careful. So at least have somebody, an objective observer, helping you get through this, and somebody that can defend you if they suddenly demote you. All right?
Okay.
And get in with Elizabeth. She should. You know what your office hours are going to be yet? Do we know? No, she's waving at me saying she's going to have office hours. We don't know what time yet. Okay. We'll do you know what time?
Thursdays, 5 to 6.
Thursday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. East Pacific time. So you got that, Lori?
Yeah.
No, those are doctors out
So
there,
tomorrow,
huh?
tomorrow at 5 o'clock, she'll be up in the chat rooms, okay? I don't know how we're going to identify the chat, but look around there. She'll be there, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, well, this is the awesome thing about this web. We can create all this information. We can make people available to young people. It's just, I don't know. It's probably. Does that sound like an exciting thing to you? To me, it's like incredible. It's unbelievable.
I think it's awesome.
We can reach out and just give people information.
Whole new world.
It's amazing.
Whole new world.
All right. So now you were on Broadway before. Did you study? Was acting sort of what you did in college, or did you study something else?
I was, I had like all kinds of ideas. When I went to college, I had no idea I was going to get into any of this. I was actually a pre-med major for a year.
Oh, no kidding.
Then I tried to be a business major and a pre-med major and live at my fraternity house my sophomore year, which brought all that to a crashing halt.
Oh, jeez.
And then I bailed out and became an English major. I totally pulled the ripcord.
What fraternity?
I was a Phi Kappa Psi.
And then English, any particular area of English?
Pretty much, English literature mixed with a little American lit.
That's cool. So like Thomas Hardy and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and a lot of, Old English
Bronte.
and Shakespeare.
Oh, Old English.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually a great program.
Old English.
Yep. And
so Chaucer and Sir Gawain and all that stuff.
Exactly.
How did you get interested in that? That's so.
It was just part of the program. I mean, at Washington Lee, it was like, that was all part of the necessary curriculum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was cool.
It serves you well now.
Yeah, it's funny because we had this, unlike any other major at the college, we had to take this comprehensive exam to graduate. And, it was almost like a law school exam. I had to, I stayed at school and studied for this thing for like a week. And
is this from this particular major? Or
just for this particular major. And I really felt like leaving school because of that. I really had a handle on, on like the canon of literature.
Right.
And it all left my head. I mean, I couldn't tell you bunk about, most Old English or whatever. But I'll tell you what it did do. It definitely helped me articulate things well and put thoughts together well.
It taught you how to think.
Yeah, and it's good for the program I do and doing stuff.
And I bet
this.
you can read better now. You actually assimilate information better. I mean, that's all school's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Chaucer as in and of itself is not going to serve you very well right now.
It just exercises a certain part of your brain.
It does.
Yeah.
People, I educate in this part of the country, on the West Coast, I don't think people have caught on that much to what education is supposed to be. Well, there's a lot of memorization and stuff out here. I've noticed it's very distinct different out here. I went to medical school out here, and out there it was about reading and assimilating and thinking on your feet. Out here, it's here's this body of information. Stick it in your head.
Does he have the knowledge?
Yeah, put it in your head and keep it there.
Right.
Which has some purpose at times, but if you can't think and use it, then what the hell's it doing there?
Yeah, yeah.
So, how do you like living out here?
I like it. I like it. I'm a big golfer, so I play golf all the time. I'm definitely, I like New York. I'm much more of a New York guy.
Manhattan, New York?
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
okay.
very much so. But it's cool.
And what kind of family did you grow up in?
Very separated, split up. Like my mom split up a couple times, so I had like, two dad figures, like a stepdad and a real dad. I was really close with both of them.
What do you mean a couple times she split up?
Well, she divorced my dad when I was like 3, and then she divorced my stepdad when I was like 14.
What's up?
Yeah, man. It was like,
no wonder you want to get married. It's a pretty good interesting script for marriage.
I want to do it right the first time.
Yeah. Which will mean not doing it at all.
Yeah. So, good call. It was weird though, because I was very close with both my dads, and I think for a guy, your father figure in your life is a very important thing. Either you do a lot of stuff like him, or you do the opposite.
Yeah.
But in either case, it's an important figure. And when you have two figures and they were very different.
Oh, really? They were different?
Yeah, very different. Like my real dad is like a solid gentleman from the Navy, grew up in Arkansas, and then my stepdad is much more of like a creative writing producer type from New York, and it took me a long time to sort of figure out what the hell was going on.
It sounds like you've assimilated all that, though. It's interestingly.
I guess.
So, like, you got the old boy thing going, and that's great.
It's a freaking
That's
mess.
neat. No, that's neat. But now, is it that your mom made bad choices, and I'm going to ask it, and left guys because she made bad choices, or was she a pain in the ass and they left her?
My mother is a former ballet dancer.
Yeah.
So from like age 12, she was pretty much removed from real society and in that dance world.
Yeah.
So her social skills are kind of whack. So I think that in both, like my real dad, it was a total mismatch, but I think it was very physical, like opposite attracts kind of situation.
Yeah.
And then actually with my stepdad, that was her former high school boyfriend that she ended up getting back together with.
Interesting.
So they had this, bond and stuff like that, but
neither of them were real.
God bless her. I love her to death, but she's not the easiest woman in the world to live with.
Does she have a relationship now, or?
No, she's pretty much flying solo.
That's probably better for her.
I don't know. I want to hook her up with somebody.
Anybody have any ideas? The number is 888-4-Dr.
Yes, Mom
we
needs,
now have,
he's got to be a solid guy
Justin,
in his 50s, some sort of professional degree
professional,
would be good.
not military. She's ruled that out now.
Right, not some crazy Long Island producer type.
Not too artsy. Okay, somewhere in between. Somewhere like Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Rusty is
worst thing in the world.
20. Rusty, what's going on?
I'm actually just a little bit nervous, Dr. Drew.
Relax, don't worry about it.
My girlfriend and I, we decided that we don't want to have sex before we're married, and we're also not having oral sex. We decided that wasn't right for us, and but we are involved in mutual masturbation, and
that's okay with you, Justin?
Hey, listen, if he gets the job done,
okay.
I mean, you got to admire the man.
All right.
It's interesting, like, you'd think that would be after those other two things, though.
Well, it's interesting that the sort of the pecking order has, if you pardon the phrase.
The pun.
Yeah, has changed over the years. Oral sex was like something deviant when I was in high school, like something that, something movie stars did.
Exactly. You're like, you got that last night?
Oh, that would be like unheard of.
Right.
Like that would be like a billboard somewhere. But and now that's become part of petting. It's part of making out. And I don't think anybody ever talked about mutual masturbation. I think the whole safe sex thing. I mean, it's a very safe thing to do. So it's something that people were supported doing. So what is the question then?
We're actually wondering what the possibility of pregnancy is. I've always, after ejaculation, I've always made sure to wash my hands with soap and everything before touching her.
Then it's a zero.
Zero.
It's a zero. That's something we could write about in a medical text if you actually achieved a pregnancy through that means. I mean, being as careful as you are.
I mean, are you guys working on a love seat kind of arrangement, or what's the setup like?
Generally on a bed. and I have an apartment with a separate room, so.
You in separate rooms at the time? What are you talking about?
Separate rooms from the rest of my roommates. It's a college situation.
I see. Well, it's a good thing. The relationship is good. You both share the same values. You both want to delay things appropriately. It's safe. No chance of pregnancy. Is there a problem?
Well, she's just a little bit late this month, and
no. Don't worry about that, Rusty. This is almost anything can, particularly at that age, the emotional stress, just the fear that you might be pregnant can make her late. Changes in her appetite or physical activity. If it's something, if she misses the period entirely, it's probably worth having a doctor look at her, just because things like thyroid conditions and other medication can affect it. But do not. Of course, pregnancy is the number 1, 2, and 3 causes of a late period, but it doesn't sound like this is a probability here. Okay.
I really appreciate it, Dr. Drew. It's
All right,
quite
pal.
a relief.
Take it easy and keep the morning after pill around there.
Sure, and keep firing away.
Do you know?
That's a pretty good arrangement.
As long as they're comfortable and lined up in terms of their values, that's wonderful.
I mean, that's pretty interesting. So you got 2 virginal types who aren't going to do any of that, but they're going to have group wanking. I mean, that's pretty unique.
Group wanking, that's a New York term?
I'm just saying, like whatever. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's an interesting.
Did you go to finishing school at Oxford or something?
All right.
So this is Michelle, is 28. Michelle.
Hi.
Hey there. You're in Florida.
Yes.
How's things down there?
It's gotten pretty cold.
Whereabouts in Florida are you?
I'm in Tampa Bay.
I'm coming down there in like 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Orlando and Tampa. I don't know what the hell I'm doing there, but it'll be up on the site soon what I'm doing there.
Okay, great.
What's going on?
Well, my husband and I were, I'm trying to get pregnant.
I know what I'm doing. I'll be at the Jupiter conference. I believe that's in Orlando. So you're trying to get pregnant.
Mm-hmm. And he is a pretty heavy pot smoker.
Okay.
And I didn't know if I do conceive, is that going to have any effect on the fetus?
It's an interesting question. It's going to make it difficult to conceive because it definitely has... Do you smoke pot? You look like you're listening rather carefully.
I listen to all the questions very carefully,
okay.
Doctor.
I don't want to... But if you have any questions about pot, feel free.
Okay.
Lowers the sperm count, okay? Testosterone levels down, estrogen levels up, sperm down. And the motility of the sperm is down, so it can affect fertility very definitely. Now, if you actually do conceive, which it doesn't necessarily completely impair fertility.
Right.
I've seen some literature, and this is kind of unusual, and this is actually controversial, and I'm not sure I believe it, but some literature that was fairly compelling that suggests that there's an increased incidence of orthopedic abnormalities, like extra fingers and that kind of thing, even when men smoke as much as a month before the conception.
Really?
Which is not consistent with how I understand the drug works, but it's out there. That literature is out there. Basically, I would worry more about conception than I would about these issues of fertility. Now, for you, issues rather birth defects. But for you, if you smoke during pregnancy, it's a whole different story.
No, I don't at all.
Good.
No, not now, and I would definitely not during. But I just, people have warned me that, well, if you smoke pot and you conceive, the baby might be retarded, deformed.
No, they're not retardation, no.
Plus, in the future, then you got to start thinking about that secondhand smoke situation.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and dealing with the marijuana addict and that kind of thing, and that's a whole other question. Okay.
Right, I understand.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the popularity of pot. Amazing. I got naked with my 8-year-old cousin when I was about 7, it says. Would you say this was sexual abuse or kids just playing around?
You know what? I had an aunt that lived in a commune, and I had my first foray into the sexual situation when I was about that age, and I still remember it very vividly. I think I was even younger. I think it's just 2 kids,
What happened in your case?
I remember it so well. We were down in the basement. It was this commune in San Francisco, and there was a couch, and it had some sheet thing covering it up, for storage purposes, and we got bare to the bone and tried everything that I think we could kind of come up with at the time.
You and an 8-year-old, another 8-year-old?
Yeah, we were both very young.
Girl.
Yes, it was a girl.
I'm
just telling you, it was a girl.
Just asking the question.
Sure.
And was it like touching and exploring, or was it like sexual, like we're going to have intercourse?
No, it was good. It was magical. It was it was really young, so it was.
Here's what I'm getting at, because I think it gets a little traumatizing if it's sexual, because nothing's.
It was definitely sexual. I don't know what happened to me, but some gasket blew. I was into sex when I was crawling around with a diaper. I don't know what happened.
And at 8 you could achieve an erection and
No. Definitely not.
But you were just into exploring and touching.
Yes.
Yeah. With
yes.
that I believe to be normal.
Yeah.
So, this is Isaac, who's 14. Isaac.
Hi.
Hey.
I called a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And about my friend that she was smoking, and I want her to stop.
Smoking pot?
No,
Smoking cigarettes.
Just cigarettes.
And you want her to stop, right?
Yeah.
And?
Do you remember?
Vaguely, to refresh our memory.
And like she might have been doing other drugs.
All right. And what do you like from us? What do you need?
And she killed herself yesterday.
Oh,
my God.
man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like I just like don't know what to do. Like I'm scared and like.
All right. So let's sort of resurrect the situation. One is, you knew something was up with her, right? That's why you were scared about her. Your focus was on the cigarettes, right?
Right.
She was depressed?
A little bit.
Probably more than a little bit. Were things kind of a mess at home for her?
Not so much. Her parents were together.
But they weren't abusing her in any way? Or
No.
No. Was there something that you were aware of that was troubling her?
That she like didn't like life.
There has to have been a reason for that. Either a medical or a psychological reason for a severe depression. Okay.
She was a little bit overweight.
Okay. I think the tough part about the most difficult part about this kind of thing is that nobody expects young people to die.
Right.
Least of all other young people.
Yeah.
And it really challenges your whole sense of yourself and your reality, and it can be very, very disturbing. I think it's important that you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that your school would provide some access to some sort of services for this.
Right, they did. They brought over counselors.
I think you talk to them, and I would hope you talk in a group setting as well as alone, and really sort of sort this out and realize whatever reaction you're having to this, it's normal. Okay?
Right. But the only reason that like it's hard for me is because I don't have like a lot of friends.
I'm sure, and I want you to be very careful about the fact that sometimes behaviors like this occur in little clusters, and I don't want you to be part of this, okay?
Right, don't worry,
All right, and I don't want your friends to be part of it either, but the way you assure that is by accessing the appropriate kinds of care. You don't all isolate and sit around and ruminate about these awful feelings and why, and whatever your thoughts are at the time, they need to be opened up and discussed with other people.
Right.
This dude's name is Isaac, right?
Isaac, yeah.
Isaac, you got to understand something.
Yeah.
People develop in all sorts of different ways. You know, some people come out of the gate and they're like Mr. Popular when they're a kid, and then they sort of fade through high school. Or some people start slow, and then all of a sudden they're like Mr. Popular in high school, and that's all they ever get. But like a lot of people that are here in Hollywood or big successes anywhere else, it's like they were like sort of lost when they were your age. When I was your age, I was like, I spent a lot of time alone. I was freaking out and like stuff like that. So just take a step back, understand that things develop for people in a lot of different ways, and just because you don't have a lot of friends now doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. So just give yourself a break, like accept the pain for what it is, and just understand that, you know, just become yourself and do right things and treat yourself well and other people with respect, and you'll grow and you'll find like your happiness in life. Trust me on this.
You got that? All right, Isaac?
Okay.
Hey, go into the forums, too, here. It's another place you can get some support, and post what happened. And I bet you get a lot of support from our users, okay?
Okay, thank you
All right,
very
put
much.
something up. I'll look for it tonight, too, okay?
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't give, I wouldn't want to go back to 14 to 18 for anything.
I mean, I was in a breakdance crew, man. I mean, like, are you kidding me? I had my Puma suit, and I was, like, trying to break it down. You know?
Oh, my.
Yeah.
There's another call. We have time for another call? All right. Here's his Garnet, who's 46. Garnet. Garnet? Is that the right name? Garnet?
Garnet.
Garnet, how are you?
Fine.
What can we do for you?
I have a question about some medication I'm on.
Okay.
I'm taking Xanax and Paxil and Prenavil.
Okay.
And I was wondering, I've been on the Xanax and Paxil a little over a year now.
Yep.
And I've noticed that it seems like I can't, my memory's going.
That's the Xanax.
And I also can't concentrate that well anymore.
Well, that could be either of those medications. Not the Prenavil. Prenavil is a blood pressure medicine, and that's nothing. It has really no side effects except for a little cough. Paxil and Xanax, though, are very difficult medicines to get off of. So whatever you do, do not stop them. You understand me? If you're going to get off, which sounds like maybe you ought to, because now you're having more side effects than therapeutic benefit, you have to come off very slowly. The Paxil can give you a very strange withdrawal syndrome where you feel kind of dizzy and out of it and just awful. The Xanax, you can actually have seizures and feel like you want to come out of your skin. So I would suggest you talk to your doctor. It sounds like most of this, if not all of it, is side effect from the medication. All right?
Okay, one more thing.
Real quick. We're out of time.
I just want to thank you for, I've been listening and watching the radio and TV show now for a couple of years.
Wow, thank you.
Yes, and I just think it's a great job you're doing.
Well,
I really do.
I appreciate that. Thanks very much.
In fact, you've helped me in other ways.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
You're not right in our demographic, but you're welcome here.
Oh, well,
you have kids?
Everybody kind of sits there and says I have this young attitude.
That's good. Those are good. I like that. All right, Garnet, take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They have snow in Utah yet? She's calling from Utah. Do you ski?
I love skiing.
Do you go around here? Do you ski somewhere?
Not a whole lot out here. Like I've been up to Bear Valley up north. And I grew up like skiing in Vermont and
Stowe and
yeah, exactly.
Round Top and Killington, all that stuff.
Exactly.
That's the ice skating. That's not skiing.
You know what? Better to learn on that and then come out here.
Yeah,
and blowing all
absolutely.
you Western people out of the water.
Absolutely. I can't ski on your stuff. So,
right.
Well, Justin, I really appreciate you coming in here.
You got it. Thank you. It was
It's
my pleasure.
Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock.
Monday
Everywhere
through
except
Friday,
on their dish. Everywhere except on the
right, which
satellite.
is depending on what your feed is.
Yeah.
I think in the Midwest it's actually at 10.
Okay.
But
I
on the
watch
East
it
Coast
at
and
8.
the West Coast it's at 8.
Okay, and appreciate you coming down here. I really do. And the next show will be Monday, January 10th, 7:30 Pacific time. This show will be archived, and please check out other sites on the web on our website. We've got chats and forums going full blast right now. See you later.